It is John Pollock along with John Ramdeen and Robin Black. News that came out late on Friday was that Cris Cyborg is not going to be facing any punishment from her recent out-of-competition drug test where she had taken a diuretic, a banned substance, and since that time they have weighed this case and given her a retroactive TUE, which is not something we have seen since USADA has come on board with the UFC. But as a result, she is free and clear now to fight. And
convenient.
I feel that, listen, with Cris Cyborg, I mean, the fact is they ruled that she needed this diuretic. No one's going to deny she has had some awful weight cuts, and this came after her most recent fight. But the fact was, whether a doctor tells you or not you need this, you still have to clear this with USADA.
Didn't Bigfoot Silva need stuff too?
He did too, and was not allowed to.
Diuretics help you cut weight to be in a smaller weight class. There's other reasons you can get a doctor to say that you need them, but that is their primary purpose in combat sports, is to use them illegally to cut weight. Now, whatever other reason there is, and a doctor agrees there is, you're supposed to, in advance, say everything you're using. So you've got a little form, so what do you take? I'm John Ramdeen. Marijuana. Et cetera, et cetera. And they're like, hey, you're not allowed to take marijuana. He's like, I got cataracts.
Hasn't that been changed?
Yeah.
It's been changed,
no, you
right?
still can't take marijuana.
Well, this was out of competition. Yeah. So, but yeah, the fact was it wasn't declared, and as an athlete that has to go by USADA, I mean, it's not the same as you or I going into a doctor's office and they Robin, you need to take this substance. It's imperative you take it. It could be something that bans you from having that substance in your system.
Which is why you lay it out in advance.
USADA knocks your door. You have to. A simple contact to USADA at the time would have avoided all of this. Saying, "Listen, this is my current situation. I just had this awful cut. This was after her most recent fight, and it probably would have been cleared."
Look what happened. She got cleared. She's going to be fighting.
Yeah, exactly.
The UFC created a 145-pound championship. You saw some drama between Holly Holm and Jermaine Durandamy, and Cyborg's waiting in the wings. Now she's going to get the title shot. She did her job beautifully.
Well, so this is a retroactive therapeutic use exemption. So you're supposed to say up in advance, I'm taking marijuana, if you're John Ramdeen. And then they're supposed to say, no, you can't. They say, well, I got cataracts. And then next thing you know, you're high all the time. And in her case, she's supposed to say, I need to take a diuretic, not because it'll help me cut weight so that I can be huge and beat up smaller women. It's because I have some other issue. And so you're supposed to lay that out in advance. But a retroactive means, well, you were supposed to tell us, but, well, it all checks out. Whatever other reason you have checks out. So it's cool. You can go fight now. I mean, we didn't make the rules. There's loopholes in the world that when you go to do your taxes, there you can write off a part of your apartment as an office. You know what I mean? So do it. So, I mean, who can really hold that against her? We live in a culture where, you can watch.
Play the game.
Yeah, the biggest politicians in the world go and show you how to jump through loopholes, so why shouldn't she?
So as we now put that behind her at this point, I mean, what is the fight to make here? I mean, Jermaine Durandamy is pretty adamant she wants the rematch with Holly Holm.
Make that.
I don't know how many people want to see that rematch when you have this option here. If this is one at 145 pounds.
I totally get it, but there's a storyline. Again, the hype machine. You show the blows after the bell, all the controversy of the first round. I'm sure that fight would sell itself, the rematch. But yes, of course.
And you put Cyborg at the side of the cage, ready to sell the next thing. It all checks out. I was talking.
Or would it be worth having Cris Cyborg have a non-title fight at 145
Do that as well
pounds on that same card?
Yeah.
Like, let's not forget that 145 pounds was this division created for her. I mean, she's at a size where, I mean, it's a question of her. 140 doesn't look like that was a weight she should ever be fighting at again. 145 is still a big cut for this woman.
Weird.
She won't lose weight. She wants to cut weight. And that's her choice. It's her life. She can do what she likes. Somebody around her team someone close to me was talking to them and said, could you please tell Robin Black this weight cut just about kills her? I know it does. You can see it. She shouldn't be cutting that much weight. She should lose some weight so she cuts less weight. She chooses not to do it. There's any number of reasons someone may choose not to do it. They just like being big and strong. That's a real thing. But you can lose weight. There's lots of ways to lose weight. If you went to a doctor doctor and you said, Doc, they're going to pay me $1 million if I lose 5 pounds of muscle. The doc's like, no problem. 4 months, we'll have 5 pounds of muscle off you. Will I perform as well? No, you'll be smaller. Oh, that sucks. You know, I mean, it can be done. But it's her life. She should live it the way that she wants to live it. She is having success in a lot of areas of her life. I feel for the woman because she does get a lot of hate. There is a lot of our discussion around her in ways that probably affect her personally. So I'm glad there's a 145-pound division. This is an incredible athlete. She seems like a really, really cool human being that we're all really interested in. And 145 pounds, I'm glad it's there for this woman, this athlete, because she's a brilliant fighter. And this is perfect for her. She can fight either of Holly or Jermaine. And hey, you do make that fight. If Holly were to win it, well, that's the woman who beat Ronda. And if Holly were to lose it, this woman just beat the woman who beat Ronda twice. She's got to fight.
And she's someone that, I mean, we look at a lot of fighters that will fail drug tests for steroids, and it doesn't follow them like it does Cris Cyborg from 2011 when she tested positive.
I believe.
But she's someone that, I mean, that cloud has followed her. This most recent case, this appears to be something that she medically did need, but it is the cloud of the first drug test.
Yeah. There are lots of reasons you can get a doctor to say a diuretic is something that very, very much helps a large fighter. You can then walk into the cage at 168 pounds muscular pounds because you took one. We really need to take one. It harms our body if we don't take one. Well, maybe you shouldn't be so big cutting to that weight. Does she medically need it? There's an argument that she does, but there's also an argument that we found a convenient way to support a very valuable drug that helps you with athletic performance because you're larger. So, but at the same time, you know, she's not the first one who's played around fast and loose with the rules, you know, and she's a great fighter, and you want to see her perform. You just don't want to see her have advantages where she can hurt another person.
And that's what it seems like. The reason why it follows her is because of the performances we see inside of the cage. This jacked up Brazilian who destroys most of her opponents. It's not even a lot, you know, the fights don't go the distance. Cyborg at some point renders her opponent unconscious, and I think when people see that, they just assume it's because of the extracurricular things she's been doing.
And we do need to ask ourselves honestly, when you see that level of destruction, if on some level you're so impressed by it or you like it, or it's part of the, you know, the drama and the excitement and the car crash element of the martial arts that some people enjoy and many of us do, if we find ourselves very ready to make excuses, when she medically needs it, oh man, she can't make that weight, and we find ready to make excuses because we love that. When we can have somebody bigger and stronger and tougher and enormous and cut weight,
I love watching it.
We love watching it. Are we making excuses for it, and in doing so encouraging it? Again, this is not, it's the opposite of personal. You just see that she's a wonderful driven athlete and martial artist. We're just right on the edge of what's okay and what's not okay, and that edge pushes and pulls a lot. I love that there's a 45-pound division for her, because we can let a lot of this conversation go away now if she's making that weight easy. She's similar size to the 145-pounders when she fights, and then you just get to see her be a brilliant combat artist.
All right, well, that's going to wrap it up for us. We will wait to see when Cris Cyborg will be fighting next, but she is now clear to fight without any penalties from USADA.